Nate versus Tony, bro, I do not like this fight. I 100% hate this fight because
it's 5 rounds.
Both of these are 5-round fights. These are 5-round fights. And the thing is, now either Nate or Tony are going to lose. Now, there's a chance that both of them was going to lose anyway. Don't get me wrong. But sometimes you get these cards where people who ain't supposed to win, they win. And at least there was a little bit of hope that if everything went right for them and everything went wrong for who was they supposed to fight? Khamzat and Li Jingliang. Well, look, we could have had some W's, but now one of them is finna lose. Now I kind of got to lean more towards hoping Tony win because I don't want Tony to lose all the fights in a row. Because his record, bro, is just so deceiving, man. Like, this man that had to put out so many fights for injuries, bro, and still keep trying to fight. And look who he lost to. Bro, these are all these people are top 5.
And they're wrestlers, too. That's very interesting. All the people he lost to in his last 4 fights are wrestlers. So it's interesting now that Tony's fighting against Nate, who's going to stand up with him.
I know. I think this actually favors Nate.
I think this favors Tony.
Are you there?
Yep.
Man, this the Zoom thing it gave me like a time limit, so I had to send another link.
Well, we were just saying how Tony, his last 4 fights, all his losses come against wrestlers. And Nate is not a wrestler, so like who does this favor? Like striker versus striker.
But Tony was preparing for a 3-round fight, and Nate was preparing for a 5-round fight. But then again, Nate was talking about he don't care if Khamzat beat him and whatever. So I was starting to think, was Nate really going into this like fully prepared, or you see what I'm saying? Because I know he was scheduled for a 5-round fight, but how much like cardio and stuff did he really do? Because he don't look like he did much of it if you really just looked at him.
This fight don't favor anybody. Neither one of them for real got knockout power with their hands, and like they all kind of like Nate wears people down, and like Tony does weird stuff with elbows and knees and stuff like that. So like Nate was right. They should have been fought long time ago. And for it to happen like this is the one where you got 2 dudes that ain't about to be out here trying to knock each other out like sleeping, but it's gonna be a little crafty fight. You know, yeah. Nate gonna throw them hands, Tony gonna throw that weird spinny shit, and we about to get to it. You know what I'm saying? I don't really care. That's probably the one fight in a long time that I don't give a damn who has any advantages. I just want to see how it's gonna go. You know what I'm saying? Because I think they perfectly match. It's a better fight to me. It's a better main event to me. And I think this need to be like BMF belt part 2 right here, honestly. In my opinion.
But we can't
That's how I think it is.
We can't act like Tony Ferguson wasn't knocking out guys at welterweight before he was at lightweight. And also his last fight, he knocked down Michael Chandler. Remember that?
Yeah.
So it's like
I agree. He got it.
Yeah, Tony has power. Tony has power. He just like he ends up in bad situations where like he don't have the best fight IQ when it comes to striking. He don't make the best decisions. Where Tony is superior is on the ground. And this would be very interesting, Tony versus Nate on the ground, because I don't know who has the better jiu-jitsu. To be honest, they're both dangerous.
But do Tony scare anybody with his power though?
But see, that's the thing. Josh Thompson said, like he did a podcast and he said the thing is Tony don't just have power like that. He said what you gotta I just thought about something. He said what you gotta watch out for with Tony is the fact that he will cut you. And it's something that's very odd and something that's very weird because nobody else really just does that. But he said with the elbows and all that stuff, it slices his opponents. And that's why a lot of times Tony, when he was on that win streak, even when he was losing, look at how people be looking after the fight. And I'm going to be honest, if he can do that and use that against Nate with that scar tissue, he can really bloody him up kind of bad, man. And, you know.
I don't think so.
I'm going to tell you like this. I done had my fair share of fights growing up. The person who hit me in my jaw the hardest was a skinny dude. Straight knuckle, the chin. He was the hardest one. I done fought big dudes, big as me. And they know none of that. I didn't feel none of that same whatever. So that does amount for something. But I ain't never been slept. But I will say it hurt the most. Like that bone-on-bone pressure. But honestly, Tony don't really scare nobody. So he got it. That creativity, them elbows is dope. Like them, what he do with the knees and the chokes, and he just I can understand why fans like him. But you're right, his fight IQ ain't that. I feel like this is the perfect fight. It should have been this from the beginning. I would love to see. Actually, I wish they wouldn't. They should have gave Hazma Paulo. I feel like that should have been the fight.
Man, Paulo can't make weight with a full count.